What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to talk about with you guys. This time actually revolving around the New York Knicks and Kemba Walker, with it actually currently being reported that Kemba Walker was very serious about signing with the New York Knicks. We've obviously heard many articles about how they were actually the front runners and reportedly the top priority on, Kemba Walker's list on what team he wanted to join if he was to leave Charlotte. He ended up obviously joining the Boston Celtics, which, ended up actually being the right decision. They made that very clear on this podcast. And yeah, this is pretty much the first time he's actually really gone out and kind of spoken about how New York Knicks were pretty much his top priority and how they were definitely the front runner. And yeah, this is obviously on the Ringer podcast. And I think that, yeah, a lot of New York Knicks fans, some of them were very skeptical about potentially getting Kemba Walker. But, looking back at it now, it kind of looks like there was definitely something that obviously fell through with the deal. He doesn't necessarily describe what really happened. Obviously, I would assume, that he probably wouldn't do it. He'd probably get some type of fine or something like that by the NBA. But one thing to kind of note is that, yeah, they were the number one, and Boston weren't even really in, the really top two choice at the time. It did seem to be the Charlotte Hornets or the New York Knicks, but it sort of just really happened in the end. I think everyone was kind of really unexpected when he did actually sign with the Boston Celtics. A lot of people knew prior that, we all know that Kyrie Irving ended up going to leave the Boston Celtics. He was rumored to go to the Knicks as well, but he obviously ended up going to the Brooklyn Nets. So it then kind of transitioned to Kemba Walker. If the Knicks can't get Kyrie, then should they be getting Walker? A lot of fans kind of voiced their opinions on this. Half of them said no, half of them said yes. The big reason for the no type of factor was just based on the fact that we've never really seen Kemba Walker kind of on a full strength team actually competing for the playoffs. So a lot of people thought that his points were kind of fluctuated on just based on the fact that he was the number one option. There wasn't exactly too many people or too many players on his team to kind of, take the points away from him. But he's definitely proven that to be really the wrong factor, as he's gone to the Boston Celtics and his points per game are, pretty much, they've only dropped by 5 points per game from the previous season. In the previous season, he was 25.6 points per game, and now he's 20.4 points per game on about 3 minutes less per game, and he's still actually doing very, very well from what has been kind of going on with the Celtics for the past year, and how he has, had to really transition with no new players. He's got a complete new team, a lot of players that he possibly never had spoken to prior, besides maybe Jason Tatum, as it was very much seen that the Boston Celtics were kind of like a late thing for Kemba Walker. But if you kind of look at it, back at it now, I never really thought now that he had any chance of really re-signing with the Charlotte Hornets, especially considering they didn't offer him the money that he really wanted to. And, they didn't come out of it the worst situation. They've ended up, getting a couple of really nice young players like Devontae Graham, who are actually, doing relatively well now on the Charlotte Hornets. So it's not exactly like they went really bad like a lot of people thought they were going to go. Some people even had them not even winning a game throughout the season. So they've definitely really breaking through those odds. But yeah, I think if the Knicks kind of had it over again, I definitely think they should have, maybe looked and paid more attention into signing Kemba Walker. And it's kind of just, really come out now that I really want to know what went wrong. How did they stuff up this situation with Kemba? I think a lot of people really want to know this now, especially considering he said the Knicks were his top priority and top choice. How does that go from the top priority and top choice to all of a sudden a couple days later to really not even happening, and he ends up signing with the Boston Celtics, and the Knicks weren't even contender to sign him at the end of the day? So I really want to know how that ended up happening. Obviously, I don't really think he's going to be able to say, unless some, outside source ends up coming out and potentially saying this. But I thought this was just really interesting that, again, this is another player that the Knicks were really leading to try and get. And then obviously something dramatically went wrong, and all of a sudden they don't have Kemba Walker on the team. And, he spoke about it in the podcast as well. He went into the free agency having the Knicks as his number one, but also expecting them to, go out and sign another star. Now, I really don't know what that other star was potentially going to be, because for the longest amount of time, we thought the Knicks were going to be interested in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. and now we know it was actually Kemba Walker and another star. So again, I'm very interested to kind of see, you know, hopefully it gets revealed very soon as well, who that other star was. You know, there was a lot of players that kind of went and signed with different teams, and it almost makes me think, were they interested in Jimmy Butler? Because it was rumored before as well, you know, before that end of the free agency, that they were also interested in Jimmy Butler, and I think so were the Clippers, but the Clippers ended up getting Kawhi and Paul George, and Jimmy Butler ended up settling for the Miami Heat, which was, you know, ended up being a very, very good decision by him. So I'm not exactly too sure what that other star was, but if they had those three players on the team, that would have been a nice, you know, three players. If they had RJ Barrett, who they would have just drafted at small forward, Jimmy Butler at shooting guard, and Kemba at point guard, that would have been a really, really nice team. And, you know, we've seen Jimmy Butler really improve his teammates throughout his, you know, current season with the Miami Heat. So I wonder if maybe he could have done a very similar situation to the Knicks. But yeah, again, this is all in the past now. It was about maybe, you know, it was about last free agency. I definitely think the Knicks have a huge opportunity to now go out and actually sign the players that they've reportedly been interested in, like DeMar DeRozan and Chris Paul. And I think, you know, they just got to know now that big name free agents like Kevin Durant and, you know, Kyrie Irving just don't want to come to the team, especially with the lackluster winner culture that they do have. So if they can go out and trade for Chris Paul and maybe sign Danilo Gallinari and DeMar DeRozan, which they've highly been interested in, I don't think that would exactly be, you know, the worst free agency out there. So I definitely think they should be really focusing on that this season and put the past behind them. But yeah, Kemba Walker's definitely reopened a new discussion with the fact that, how did they miss out on the opportunity of signing Kemba Walker, considering they were the front runners to get him at the time? So, and yeah, I really want to know what other star that was that they were, you know, potentially going to be able to sign. So hopefully another journalist will maybe come out, find out this information, and yeah, maybe we'll be reporting on it in, you know, the next couple of weeks or so. So again, hopefully that all happens. But yeah, anyone, to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest NBA news and NBA content. Also, don't forget to comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on this? Do you guys think that the Knicks were actually going to be signing Kemba Walker? Do you think they were never a chance? Again, I definitely would really like to know your thoughts and opinions. And who do you guys think was that other star the Knicks were, you know, rumored to be signing, you know, according to Kemba Walker? Again, I definitely would really like to know your thoughts and opinions on it all down below. But also, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel, MIRL/Longshan. Don't forget to check out my podcast as well if you haven't already. Links for them will all be in the description down below. But as I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.